Thanks for coming and checking out this presentation. So today I'm going to talk on how we can write web-based code, HTML, JavaScript and CSS, and create platform-agnostic hybrid applications. Essentially, write your code once and deploy it as a single web page application, a mobile app supporting Windows, Android and iOS, and even taking that code and creating a desktop-based application for Mac, Linux, and Windows. So hey guys, so a little bit about me. 17 years of experience with product development and user experience, as well as working on innovative new ideas and solutions. You'll find me presenting at Oracle Open World and the OUG events in the US and EMEA. The general topics are around responsive and adaptive design, innovation and how to hook up to new gadgets like beacons, chatbots, Google Glasses and even Microsoft Kinect. I also specialize around mobile design and innovation with integration of Cordova-based applications on the cloud. I work for Fishbowl Solutions, headquartered in Minneapolis, and I work out of the UK office, working on innovation and product development for the Oracle Cloud. I'm also an Oracle ace, so come and check out my blog posts and articles on the corporate blog over at fishbowlsolutions.com. So today I'm going to present a few slides on technology used to create platform agnostic applications, and then jump right into a live demo where I'll write a single web page based application that I'll port from a web page to a desktop app and then finally to a mobile device, and show you how easy it is to write your code once and deploy to these separate platforms. So at Fishbowl Solutions we offer software, services and support for Oracle, Google, Mindbreeze and PTC. For Oracle Cloud, we primarily focus on PaaS with content experience, portal, and mobile cloud service, providing integration layers to SaaS, and providing that valued layer that the customers today demand, providing a branded user experience as a service, essentially PaaS for SaaS. On the Google side, we offer cloud support and migration for the Google Search appliance. And at Mindbreeze, we offer connectors for Web Center for indexing content on-prem. And then finally, service offerings for PTC Windchill. So why develop platform-agnostic hybrid applications? A lot of you that are watching this are web developers. And hybrid development has come a long, long way in the past 5 years, enabling us now not only to create web-based applications, but providing web and app developers to reuse web-based skills to create highly performant desktop and mobile applications. Using the frameworks and technologies we love, like Angular, React, jQuery, Vue.js and Oracle Jet, saving us time and money to build key core applications that can be hooked up to the cloud. Right, so what are we going to build? Okay, so over the last 6 months I've been working with the team at Fishbowl to create Atlas, our intelligent chatbot. Essentially our personal assistant on the cloud for self-service and digital asset delivery, integrated with Oracle HCM and Oracle Document Cloud. Now we've hooked him up to Slack, Facebook and also Alexa, but what we don't currently have is a separate library where we can deploy him to a web-based interface that will run standalone on a mobile app or as a standalone desktop application or even a website or intranet. So what I'm hoping we can achieve in the demo today is to create that interface where we can interact with Atlas outside of Facebook and Alexa and Slack. Right, so what tools am I going to use? So to make things really easy for us, I'm going to use Oracle Jet, as it provides a great set of Grunt and Yeoman scripts for building single page application and mobile apps on top of Cordova. And I'm going to use Electron to build my desktop apps. Now all of this will require Node.js and NPM for package management. And also, to make things easy, instead of targeting a specific JavaScript framework like Angular or React, I'm just going to use jQuery and show some of the cool features of Oracle's Java Extension Toolkit. Oh, and finally, required.js is going to be my base as my JavaScript module loader to import any libraries or additional components that I need. Okay, so just a quick overview on Jet, as I'm going to be using it to build out my mobile and web-based application framework. So Oracle Jet JavaScript Extension Toolkit is an open source set of JavaScript tools that provide a modular front-end framework on top of tried and tested JavaScript libraries. So, although described as a toolkit, for me it's more of a framework built on top of a set of popular open source libraries like jQuery. It's flexible and doesn't force you into one direction of coding style like you have with React and Angular. And you can pull it in and integrate with other popular open source libraries very, very easily. Now, one thing that I really love about Jet is its suite of interactive, reusable components that make developing web apps and applications very, very fast. Similar to Bootstrap or Semantic UI, but for me a lot more powerful, with a very clean user interface and ability to customize and create dynamic themes quickly and easily. Now, here are a set of core libraries that are used behind the scenes with Jet. So we've got jQuery, and we all know jQuery, right? They also have jQuery UI. I feel that is no longer used, and they've actually removed jQuery UI because it's very heavyweight and bloated, which is great. I'm just keeping on this slide as I know it was used in version 2 of the Jet release, but I haven't seen any use of it in version 3. So it still might be out there, but with the components that I'm developing and using, I haven't seen it. Then we've got Knockout for the blinding layer between the data and view, and then required.js as our module loader to bring in only the components that are required for our application, keeping it lightweight. And then finally Hammer for adding touch integrated eventing. Right, so if you've not used required.js, it's a JavaScript module loader. If you write Node.js, you'll be familiar with using require to import your JavaScript libraries. I'll give you a quick crash course during our demo, as I'll use it to load in required modules such as my Atlas chatbot library that interacts with the cloud. Okay, so as this is a live demo, expect things to go wrong. Almost always it's a typo, but please bear with me here. I'm sure I'll be able to fix it, and we'll be able to create this really cool interactive UI with Atlas. So let's go ahead and actually get into the guts and start building our apps. Right, okay, let's get started. So, if I'm looking at this screen, I've currently got my chatbot library and my code and source all over on this side here. If I'm looking at this side here, I'm just looking at my notes for reference onto the steps so I keep track of the flow, and then all my development and what you're going to see is right in front of me. Okay, so let's just jump in and get started. So I'm just going to go straight into the Oracle Code Online folder that I've created, and what we'll do is we will create 3 separate folders. We'll create one for our single page web application, another one for our desktop based app, and then finally we'll create one more folder for our mobile apps. So let's go into the web, and what we'll do is we'll create our Oracle Jet single page application from the ground up. Okay, here we go. So I've got the Jet page already up and running, so you can go to, I think it's jet.org or oraclejet.org, or alternatively, if you search on Oracle, you can go straight to the Get Started page. So all we need to do to to get up and running is I'm just going to start off command prompt and just run it in admin mode. You don't need to run it in admin mode, it's just I'm running it because when I reach the desktop part of this demo, I know that when I need to package them, I need certain admin privileges. But for the rest of this, you don't need any admin privileges. Okay, so let's go into this folder that I had up and running. Where is it now? There we go, it's always the last one. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just cd into that directory, go into our web area. Now, we'll run through this quick guide that Oracle have provided. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and set up my Grunt. And for those who don't know about Grunt, if I just go over across to Grunt here, it's basically a JavaScript task runner. Yeah, so it'll automatically, if I have a set of tasks in a script, it'll just automatically process those one after the other. It's really useful. Okay, so there you can see things are happening, running sanity check, there, done. Okay, now we'll set up our Oracle Jet generator, which will set up Yeoman and other fancy scripts. So that looks right. Hit enter. For those who don't know what Yeoman is, if we just go into the Yeoman site, here we go. It's basically a scaffolding tool. So it'll go ahead, create a folder structure, move files into different areas, set up our dependencies with npm, etc., etc. Okay, so let's see. Yep, that's created. Okay, so now what we need to do is I'm going to create our chatbot interface. Right, so let's go into here. We will go into Oracle Jet. So we're running Yeoman for the Oracle Jet project, and we are going to create a single page application, and I'm just going to call it chatbot for now. Template, this is one of their default templates, nav drawer, they've got a set, but for now I'm just going to use the basic template. Okay, so if I run this now, what's going to happen, it's going to use Yeoman, set up the scaffolding, set up the folders, set up the scripts and everything. Here we go, processing template, doing the npm install so I don't have to do it, which is great. Takes a little bit of time. Oh, whilst that's doing its thing, let's just go across to over to here. So if you don't know Gerhan, I definitely recommend you follow him, especially if you're doing Oracle Jet. He has loads and loads of useful resources, does phenomenal blog posts and presentations. Here's one of the blog posts which he wrote, which is really good because it defines what templates you've got available and the structure that Yeoman actually creates behind the scenes. So you can see it's a blank template, basic, the nav bar, nav drawer, etc. So I'm just using the basic one. I could have used blank, but what I want to do is show you some of the features of Oracle Jet. Okay, so let's just check. Great, that's created. So now if I go into application, which is our chatbot folder, and I'm just going to look in there. Right, so what you can see here is this is what it's actually pulled together and created, and we've got a source folder here. Now that's where you're going to do all your development work, but what I'd like to do first is just do an initial build, right? So that's going to take that source and everything, compile it, and it's going to create a build directory, which I think it calls web. We'll see in a minute. Just copying some files across. There we go, that's done. So if I just do, look at the directory again, oh there we go. So it's also created that themes folder. So themes and web. So web is essentially your output where it will generate your source. So the next thing I want to use is Grunt serve, right? So let's start up our web server and everything else. Oh, typo. This will get you. Grunt serve. There we go. It's opening port 8000, using the Alta theme. It's using version 3 of Jet, building the app, and copying those files across from the source file into the web location. Okay. There we go, and it's automatically starting up my Jet project. Now this is just the basic one here. You can see obviously it's using the standard Oracle template, and I can click on some components and you see the functions here. If I minimize down, you'll see it's also responsive. So all these components that Oracle have created with Jet are made responsive. So click on that. Oops, it's just, you'll see those tools appear down here. And as I expand out, it's automatically up here. So it can support mobile. Again, if I go into the mobile view just like this, and click on there, you'll see that's what happens. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I want to create my interface for Atlas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into that source folder. So chatbot and source, and we'll edit the HTML file. And I'm using Atom here for my editor. Right, now what I don't need all of those comments on that. We will set the title here to Atlas Awesome Chatbot. Again, it's using the Alta theme and other things if I use the components that Jet provide. And you can see this is the structure for the basic template. Yeah. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip out all of this because I don't really need this. I will keep the body there, and we'll just clean up some of this code. And prefer to have it tabbed indented. Oh, that's fine. Okay, and you can see down the bottom here I've got require.js, which is my module loader, and within main.js I've got my require.js configuration, and I'll go into that in a minute. And if I just, let's see, if I just go back here, so you can see I've got this basic template here. Now if I press save within Atom, what you should see is it'll automatically refresh, and obviously I've deleted everything so there's no content, but if I go here and just put in test, you'll see it's automatically updated on the fly. So I haven't needed to refresh the browser to detect those changes, told the browser to automatically update using Grunt serve. And if I open up the command here, you'll see that I've got page reload, resuming watch. So anytime I do an interaction, hit save, it'll automatically reload this page, which is really good because I can develop super fast. Right, okay, so let's go on. Now, what I'd like to do is, because I'm doing chat, I need to have an input or text area field on the page. So what I've done here is we've got our input field, and this is where I'm going to type some messages. And then above that, this is where I want my messages to go into this chat area. So I will also just delete this bit. We'll go into here. Then we'll go into the application. So you can see I've got my standard input. If I type, nothing's going to happen when I hit enter. Okay, because I've removed that Jet component completely. It's just standard input being skinned with the Alta UI there. So what I'm going to do now is, if I go to back to the code, right? What I want to do is set an event on this. So instead of jQuery, let's just use the Oracle Jet to do it. And I'm not going to, instead of defining it on the DOM, I'm going to do it the other way, which I prefer, is get JavaScript to apply it automatically to the DOM on the fly. So what I need to do is, and I'm just going to copy this actually, make it easier. Great, so I'm targeting the ID of the input called, I just namespaced it with CB here, chatbot message input. So you'll see on the HTML, I've got the chatbot message input, right? And what I've got there is I've just specified an object value called option change. So that's anytime I interact with that message input, it's going to push the event across into this function and any specific UI interactions into there as well. So I'm doing a standard eWhich, so defining when you do a key press, which key are you pressing? And 13 is the standard key press for enter. So if the user presses the enter key, then what's going to happen is it's going to pull out the UI value, so the value that's being assigned to this input, and it's going to add a message onto there. So I haven't defined this method yet, so why don't I just go ahead and define add message here. Okay, so now it's going to pass this across, and I'll just call it some text, whatever you want to call it, and we'll just put just info just to let us know it's being initialized. And let's just output the value so we know what's being passed across. So now if I go back to here, I don't need a refresh. I should just be able to hit test, hit enter, and you can see it's automatically initializing that method call and passing the value of test across. Great. So what we need to do is get that text to actually appear within the message area above it. So let's add that functionality now. So what I'm going to do is, you can see here, I'm targeting the message window above it, and I'm going to append the just a wrapper with a message inside, and I'm just going to copy this method out for now. I haven't created that yet. So let's just see what happens if I go back to the web page. Here we go, and let's type in hello world. There we go. Great. So let's try something else. Great, so it's automatically being appended below. Perfect. We're still getting that appear there, and I want to get that cleared out. And I also want to sort out the styling on this. So let's create another method, and we'll call it, let's tidy this up a bit. We'll call it MessageBot, and let's just write function, and we're passing across the text to this MessageBot. And again, what we want to do is, let's just say, so that we know this method's being initialized. So we want to message Atlas, our chatbot. Okay, so what I'm going to have there is, first of all, I wanted to clear out that value. So let's just get that value cleared out. So target the input field, and as one of the options, I'm just resetting the value to blank. I also, what I want to do is I want it to automatically scroll down the page. So if you imagine you've got a scroll bar, instead of as you append, the scroll bar stays at the top, I want it to actually scroll down as you're messaging. And we'll do that in a minute, but let's just give this a quick test run. Go back here, Hey, great. So you can see it's automatically clearing that. So I can do test one, whatever, and you'll see it's automatically adding. Great. Now what I want to do is let's bring the UI up to scratch, right? So I've created a set of styles, which I'm just going to copy and paste, make things easier, because this isn't a CSS course, this is a crash course in creating platform agnostic applications. So let me just dump my styles into here. Let's go back. And immediately you can see the UI has been transformed. For some reason my fonts aren't coming back, but you can see we've got the chat window here, we've got the ability, our input field here, so hello, and you can see a message is coming there. Let me just have a quick look to see why these fonts are being loaded. Okay. Let's just try, let's just reserve this up. Okay. See how we're doing on time. Oh, that's still copying, watching, really? Oh, wait a sec. Looking at the wrong location here. Let's go back and let's just have a quick look at, here it is. I can see, I haven't got the right assets there. So let me just copy across the images and fonts and all the fun stuff. Wait, here it is. So there we go. And it's refreshed and you see like the fonts are cleared up, and let's just type message. Hello. And you can see hello is appearing up there. Pretty sure that let me just check. Oh, it's weird. Let me just copy across those images. There we go. Okay, there you go. So that's better. Everything's working. No errors. Initializing. I type in message, hello. You can see, there we go. I've just styled it to add an image there of as the person I'm typing. Okay, so next, let's go down to here. What I'd like to do is, let's just add a loading thing, because as you see, when I refresh, we get this horrible flicker interaction. So I'm just going to put a loading screen in there, and we'll just put, I don't know, loading. We'll put this into here. Right, now let's go back to our app, and you see we've got this loading animation. Once it's done loading, oh, I haven't removed the loading thing from here, so it's just going to keep loading there. So let's go to the app controller, and what I want to do is get rid of that loading class. Okay, so and this will do it. So we'll just add this into here. So what I'm doing is I'm targeting the global body, which is this, and I'm just going to remove that class, which will automatically hide that loader. And then I've got a few other fancy things where I'm adding a message button and enabling a scroll ahead. So these two things aren't being used, but let me just save this down and show you. So in theory, there we go. Animation finishes and we've got this clean transition. Let me just refresh again. Perfect. Now let's add a header just to describe what the app does, and what I also want to do just to make it easier for mobile is I'm just going to add a button here on the right hand side. So let's go back to my code. Oops, I'm back. So let's add the button first. So there we go. So we're adding a message button, and what I'd also like to do is, as part of this chat message window, I'm just going to replace that because I'd like a header just describing the application. So we're going to have this header saying welcome to Atlas, and just say go ahead and ask me any questions. And let's just refresh to see everything working. Animation loading, clear transition, button appears, header scrolls down, and we can see our Atlas bot up here in the top left. So let's start typing, just test. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one thing that's not happening is I'm not scrolling, the page isn't scrolling down. So let's get that up and running quickly and clean that code up. So let's scroll down. So we can see the map where we're chatting to the message bot, we're emptying out that. And so what I'd like to do is we'll paste this code in here. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got the ability to automatically scroll down, so using a little bit of jQuery code to automatically push the page down. And then what I've done here is added just a slight delay to make the chatbot seem more realistic. Instead of it being an automatic message straight away, it's just a little bit of a delay to show a loading screen to say that he's thinking about the message and interacting. And then he's also got a little bit that will move the page down. So, see all animations, great. Let's move this down a bit. So, hey Atlas, and you can see we've got this Atlas response now with a loading animation. Now obviously nothing's going to happen behind the scenes because we're not sending any messages to Atlas yet. So let's get that up and running. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I want to send this message to Atlas. I just created a simple library, that's namespace. So we've got this Atlas library where I'm going to send a message and I'm going to pass that message across, and actually we'll call this text. There we go. Right, so now what I need to do is include the library. So let's include our chatbot library. And we'll go down here and I'll just add chatbot, for example. Now one thing I need to do is I've just got an initialization method, so let's just put that in here so that we can initialize our chatbot and its global methods and set up that connection to the cloud. Okay. What else do I want to do? Oh yeah, so one of the other things I want to do is I want to add a button. So I want to set, with that blue button that pops up in the right, I'm just quickly going to create a standard events thing here. Let's fix that. Okay, events. Right, so let's put this in here. So, and then I'm going to put this in here. So essentially, when this thing initializes and everything loads, I'm going to set an event so that the button you see on screen has a click event, just a standard jQuery here, and it's going to automatically take the value, and as long as there's text there, it's not null or empty, then it's going to send that value across to the add message, and it's going to use that same flow that we saw earlier. Okay, so, oh, what's happening? error chatbot needed by app controller 168. Chatbot, so one thing that's happening here is I haven't pulled across my chatbot script, so let's do that. Right, so let's go into here and chatbot source JavaScript, and let's put our chatbot code in there. So now this will initialize and then that should be set as long as that is pushed. Great, so that is initializing, everything's happening that I would expect to happen. Now let's ask Atlas a question. Let's see if this works. So, hello, Atlas. Oh, we got a response. Great. So, how are you? Good. So we're talking to the cloud now, and it's coming back as a response. And our interface is ready. So you can see this is how we're going to have the mobile view or desktop app or even the browser app all there ready to go. And let's just, well, that's it. So that's our code ready as a single page application. Now let's go to the next step and let's create what am I going to create next? Let's create a desktop app. So we'll take this code and quickly create that desktop app. So let's go back in here. Let's go into our desktop folder. You can see it's all empty. And we will close this, terminate that, and we'll cd into this desktop folder. It's empty at the moment. Right, so if we go into the Electron build, here's Electron, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clone an existing starter repo. That was quick. And you see it's already put in the Electron quick start, so let's just cd into that. And you can see that's its scaffolding's all set up. We're just going to install the dependencies and then start up our application. Okay, so let's just do the npm install. And so this Electron app will create our desktop apps for Linux, Mac, Windows. Just doing install now. 1.6.8. Come on, it's taking its time. There we go. Yes. And here's our sample application. So this is the Electron quick start just here. Okay, so let's go into that folder. Electron quick start, and you can see I've got this main.js. So let's edit this one. Open with Atom. And so this is running Node.js, kind of a hybrid model. But what I want to do is let's get our dev tools open. So now when I run this, let's just close that down. If I just run this now, what you should see, because Electron is running within Chromium, I can have my standard web tools, so I can debug and see what's going on behind the scenes. But it's all working. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the code that we wrote for a single page application. So if I go into web, chatbot, we'll take all of this and we into desktop, Electron quick start, and we will just paste it into here. Okay, let's replace the files. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to do is I want to set the width and height of the application. So, width and height of the application. I thought I had this open. What's happening? Let's just close that out and let's see. Okay, let's go into here, and what I want to do quickly is just want to quickly copy and grab what I had here, because what I want to do is I don't want Node to initiate, because I'm not using any Node libraries behind the scenes. So what I'm going to do, and the reason I'm going to disable it is because it conflicts with the required JS unless you set up some other settings. So I'm looking in the wrong place, no wonder. Right. Okay, here it is. So what I just need to do here is on this main window, let's set the width and height, 360, and then what I wanted to do is I just wanted to disable that node integration. What I also want to do here, whilst I've got this open, is I just want to make sure that if you see the Hello World app, I just want to get rid of this menu bar. I'm not using it for this chatbot. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Let's run it. Yep. Oops. I don't want that. I want npm start. There we go. So you can see our loading screen, and that's it. We've got our desktop app all up and running. So let's just message Atlas. Hey Atlas. Oh, you're having trouble understanding a question. Let's see if we... Hello? Oh, there we go. Okay, so Atlas is there, up and running. Find me a file, let me just see. We integrated with .cloud, so... Oh, what's the name of the document you're searching for? Good. And you can see it's automatically scrolling down the page. Okay, so that's our desktop app. Now, what I want to do next is I want to actually build this out as an application. Because at the moment it's just a set of libraries and I have to run it from npm. So I want to create an exe essentially in Windows. So let's close that down. We can obviously get rid of our dev tools. We don't need those open. And what I want to do is I want to use Electron Package Manager. So as part of Electron Package Manager, let's go back to the command prompt and we'll just quickly paste that here. So I'm calling Electron Package Manager that I installed. The source directory is my current folder. The app name, let's call it Chatbot, because that's what it is. And the platform, I want to specify all. So I want to generate Linux, Windows, and Mac. Okay, hopefully this will now package all of what we've created and create an exe for us on the fly. And we can see that within the folder. So, oh, I didn't want to open that. Let's close this? Okay. Let's go back into here. And I would like an Electron. It's just building those apps there. So whilst that does its thing, what we'll be looking at next is Cordova. So creating a mobile app with the Cordova framework, which is now part of Apache, open source. Let's get in there. So what have we built? So it's just packaging the app for Linux. Usually it's a lot faster than this. Oh, there we go. So it's done Darwin and it's done Linux, and I was doing Linux, now it's doing the Sierra for Mac. There we go, that's a little bit better. And now, come on, should do Windows shortly. Okay, so you can see Sierra there, packaging for Windows. So what can I do? So why don't we, whilst that's packaging and doing its thing, oh, it's done, perfect. So if I go into chat here, you can see there's an exe. So if I double click that exe, got our loading screen, boom, comes up nicely. Now we've got our desktop app. We can even maximize if we wanted to, minimize, whatever. Hey Atlas, let's see if it'll respond this time to a hey. Oh, something's going on there. So, so he's wonderful. Good. So desktop app built. Now let's go on to mobile. Mobile. What I want to do is go into the mobile area. Okay. Mobile it is, and what we want to do there is we'll go back to Oracle Jet and use some of their scripts. So let's go and do install Cordova first. Okay, so it's doing global install. I've installed it already, but let's just install it again to show the process. Once that's installed, what we're going to do is we're going to run Yeoman, and we're going to create a hybrid application, and put in project name as chatbot, and then I'm going to target Android. Just check and see if my phone is here. If I have any cables. Okay. Right. Okay. So what I will do now is go back to here. Still installing Cordova. But essentially we will build up the framework using Yeoman and then just copy and paste the code we created with the web-based application and dump it in. So let's build it. So you can see Yeoman, I want to create a hybrid application. It's going to be called Chatbot. Template, again, just using that basic template. I could use blank or whatever. And then I'm just going to say the platform's Android. You can choose iOS or Windows if you wanted to, or all three. So there we go, Yeoman. We're targeting Android, yep. Template's basic. Let's create a new Cordova project, set up all the scaffolding and everything for Android. In the meantime, why don't I just copy the source? Or did I copy it? Okay, you can see there it's all being built. We're targeting Android 25. Okay. And what I'm going to do after I've done this is I'm just going to build it, just using those same commands at the top, grunt build, grunt serve. And now grunt build. Okay, we finished. Right, so I don't know what hung up there. Let's see, grunt serve now. And now what should happen is this will serve the application straight across to my emulator. So emulator is now loading up. Usually this is a hell of a lot faster. I don't know why it's going so slow today. So I'm going to blame the recording. And you can see Android there loading up. And I've just got a Nexus VM. Okay, and it should just automatically initialize. And so that is the basic template that you can see in my mobile app. Now let's copy across that code. And we'll go into mobile chatbot source. Let's just paste it all into there. So you'll place all of that. That's all there. Let's just close all of this. Let's close that emulator down. And let's close that. And let's just run it again. Grunt serve. Oh, the emulator is just booting up right now. So you'll see, hopefully, we'll have our chatbot interface on a mobile device that we developed with our on a single page app. So it's web-based, as an APK, an application which you can put onto the Android marketplace. And fingers crossed, we've got a loading screen. There we go. Yes. So there's our outlet spot. Let's say hello and hit enter. And there we go. Hard tag there, didn't respond, but you can see he's wonderful as always. So here we have a command for us to create a Jet application using the basic Oracle Jet template. Here we go, yo Oracle Jet, putting your project name, and then point to the template. There's a number of different templates you can use. Once your project has been created, we can then go into the project name, whatever you've called it, so into the folder, and then we can type in grunt build to build it out, and then grunt serve, where we can serve it out to the web server, and as we do those updates, you'll see those updates coming through on the fly. Next, Electron for desktop development. So we just clone the Git repo. So here we can see us cloning the Electron Quick Starter app. We'll cd into the repo, and then what we'll do is we'll just use npm to install it and execute the desktop application. All we need to do then is move across the code that we've created as a web-based code into our Electron app, and then just package and build it. So here's how we can package and build it. So I'm using the Electron packager, just makes things a hell of a lot easier, and we just append the all for packaging it, and it'll go ahead and package for Windows, Linux, and Mac, whether you're using Sierra or the other distribution. Now there is a bug just to be aware of here. If you do this all command on a Windows machine, the Mac apps, even though they're built and there's no errors, when you send them across to an actual Mac or allow someone to download them from a zip, they won't run. So what you have, the best thing to do is actually use the Electron Package Manager. If you're developing for a Mac, either run it on Mac or Linux and you won't have any problems. And if you go to the Git repo of Electron Package Manager, you'll see it's a known bug that they're currently working on. But still, it's been open for a year or two now, and they still haven't fixed it. Okay, so finally, build and deploy for mobile. So with Oracle Jet, what we can do is first we'll install the Cordova framework behind the scenes. So do npm-g install Cordova. Once that's downloaded all the libraries and everything and set up, we can use yeoman that Oracle Jet provides to create our hybrid application, and we can specify the project name, just like I did earlier with Chatbot, and then we can specify a platform. So I only targeted Android, but if you wanted, you could also target iOS and Windows. And then we can do grunt build and grunt serve to build a platform and serve it up to the mobile device. That's it. So go forth and create those platform agnostic JavaScript applications for web, mobile, and desktop, providing the cross-platform for Windows, Linux, Mac, iOS, Android, and Windows. Great. So also here are just some key resources you should go and check out, primarily around Jet, because it's a really good set of tools and scripts that allow you to develop applications really, really fast. It's not marketed as well as I think it should be, so go check it out. I'm not forcing you to use it, but there's lots of useful components, interfaces to build applications. And then also go check out Cordova for building your mobile apps and Electron for your desktop apps. And then finally, if you want to reach out and get in contact, head over to our site and give us a call. Thanks, and I hope you've enjoyed the session.
If you have any final questions, you have only about 2 minutes left to submit them via the Q&A widget. This session is now closing. You may now select the next session you wish to attend.